Hello everyone, and welcome to the pilot of a little project that I like to call the Quakk. I am your host, Baxter Christian, and I appreciate y'all for joining me. Before I begin, I just want to go ahead and thank everyone who wished me a happy birthday. To me, personally, it's just another day, but I appreciate y'all seeing me passing through time as some sort of an accomplishment. And if I'm being honest, I probably shouldn't have seen the age of 24, so the fact that I'm alive and here today with y'all is worth celebrating in my opinion. So thank you to everyone once again who reached out. It really does mean a lot to me. This podcast wouldn't have happened without y'all, but it's obviously very low tech and primitive at this point, so bear with us. But I'm very excited that y'all are going to be along for the ride to foster this by my side in its infant stages, and hopefully you get to watch it grow with me. Rome wasn't built in a day. I don't like using that cliche, but it really applies here. You get an elephant one bite at a time, so we'll take baby steps without any sort of expectations going into it, and maybe that's going to set us up for a pleasant surprise in the future. So, I mean, I don't know what number of take this is for the intro. This is one of countless takes, just because I don't know how to edit this software and program, so every single take has been one continuous monologue, and it's been pretty frustrating having to record a whole video, a whole audio segment, and messing up that one single part that I can't edit out. But at the same time, it's motivating me to learn a bit more about computers, to not be lazy with it, and to get this thing a bit more advanced as it gets more popular. So there's not a rush, but I'm trying to learn and evolve as we go along and move forward. My buddy Reed Sumrall, big shout out to him. He was gracious enough to loan me a very good microphone. Like, this thing is ridiculously sensitive. I feel like I can hear my organs functioning in my own body with it. Like, it's kind of scary, honestly. But he gave me the microphone and the software, and he's handling the production aspect of it. And we're both figuring it out as we're going along, because it's really not necessarily our strong suits. But for getting the early stages of the Quakk going, I'm very grateful for him for that. He helped encourage me to put this thing in motion directly, so that's a big shout out there for sure. But we'll be looking to source another headset and a video camera in the meantime, hopefully by the next episode, and get a set and a good quality camera. We tried a webcam app that just was too pixelated and laggy, and we decided to abandon that because it was a bit distracting and just go with the audio for the intro. It's not my top priority in life right now. I'm trying to start a business. That's my ultimate goal for myself. I'm a proud college dropout. We'll get into that later on through the series, but it's not my top priority in life, and I'm really not all that eager to invest a bunch of money into it at this point. But I don't mind investing into it if we build some momentum, which I honestly think we will. And I say we because it's a collective effort. For whatever reason, y'all seem to want to hear what I have to say. So thank you to everyone who encouraged me to make the podcast, both on Facebook, Snapchat, directly. Without your kind words, rather, I really wouldn't be here doing this. And I mean that it was really just your words. I've entertained the idea, but I didn't really see myself doing it. I made all kinds of excuses as to why I couldn't do it, but y'all were tired of hearing the excuses. For some reason, y'all seem to value my opinion, so you pushed me out of my comfort zone, and here I am doing it. And I bet I'll be grateful for it down the road for taking this initial step, but right now it's admittedly kind of hard. It seems I bit off a bit more than I can chew, but rewarding things in life don't necessarily come easy. Computers aren't even remotely my thing. Like I mentioned, I'm a blue-collar worker. I do concrete during the week, and I'm trying to start a hardscape business. I do that on the weekends, so I'm working 6 days a week with my hands. I feel like I don't need to know how to be a computer wizard, but I kind of put myself in a position where I have no choice but to at least learn some basic crap like editing and how to operate a camera and little stuff like that. And I'm right here about to talk about the universe and all these crazy ass theories, and I admittedly can't work a computer. It's kind of ironic, but I figure we can only grow from here. And like I said, it's a mutual effort, not to be cliche, but this podcast is not for me, it's for us. I think one day we can all look back at the early stages of this thing and see how far we've come and grown together, but I definitely don't despise a raw beginning by any means at all. And before I go on any further, before I forget, I want to extend another big thanks to two of my sponsors who've stood by me from the beginning, OrganRx, CBD, and Dust Off. Two very reputable American-based companies that I would not be here today without their strong support. I'll link a promo code down in the description that can save you guys 15% on your first 10 mil of all-natural OrganRx CBD. or you can save 15% on your first fun pack of Dust Off if you go through that link in the description. So look out for that code and show these guys some love like you've shown to me. I'd say the main purpose of the intro is just to provide some kind of overview of the topics that we'll look at and the format of the show. In general, I really don't watch any podcasts on my own time. For some reason, it seems like the majority of Americans like to dedicate hours to listen to whoever the hell it is talk. I know a lot of y'all love Joe Rogan. I've heard a little bits and pieces of him. He seems like a pretty comparable format, covers a wide variety of topics from my understanding, which I want to do here, but I really don't have any particular inspiration from anyone in general, or a firm structure for my own podcast, but I'm completely open to any suggestions that you guys have from anyone that y'all watch personally, because I think feedback is everything here, since I'm a novice at this, so I trust y'all's judgment, and definitely respect your opinions as well. The main purpose, I'd say, of the channel, however, as a whole, is to is for entertainment, but it's also to educate and to inspire. And I don't see myself as any sort of intellectual, but I've been through a lot of shit in my life by my own doing, but I believe that it's given me some sort of wisdom and insight on a lot of things. And I believe that I can learn something from anyone, whether directly or indirectly, regardless of their intelligence. So with that said, I ask that you guys have an open mind as you listen and hopefully find something to take away from every episode. That's really the ultimate goal at the end of the day. For me, as well as the host, is to walk away from every session with some sort of gain by both me and by you and the guests that I have on. And with that, this is the only time where I'm going to be monologuing. After the pilot, I want each episode to feature either a guest or guests, so we can facilitate some kind of open-ended discussion or an interview or a Q&A. We'll do a little bit of all that, but mostly an open-ended discussion format, I think, is what we're going for. It's pretty obvious to a lot of y'all on Facebook and whatnot that I lean right-wing on most of my matters, and I'm vocal with it. But I do want to provide a neutral environment for every perspective to be heard, and I want to allow you guys, the viewers, to be the judge on these matters for yourselves. Excuse me. There's definitely a political overtone, but I don't want to label myself or the podcast in any particular category or genre. I'm going to cover a number of topics, like I said, everything from politics to the universe to wild conspiracy theories and theoretical physics and religion, God, atheism, science, sports, pop culture, drugs, history, current events, dinosaurs, aliens, ancient Egypt, Mesopotamia, you name it. We'll try to cover it from all kinds of viewpoints and stances to bring enlightenment on the subject and reach some kind of productive conclusion. And I want to use the platform to share my life story and bits and pieces when it's necessary. Like I said, I've been through a lot of shit in my life. I have a dark past, but I don't carry it around as baggage. In fact, I don't think I'd be the person I am today if it weren't for my past. I think enough time's gone by from a lot of the carnage that I caused where I can candidly look back and reflect and have some laughs in the process. It took a while, but I think I can laugh about it now. But the hope is to inspire and use my perspective of those events to shed a positive light on various things. So with that, y'all are going to learn more and more about me as the series progresses, and many of y'all are probably going to be shocked at a lot of the stupid shit I've done, if I'm being honest. So it's definitely it's going to be raw, it's going to be gritty, it's going to be educational, but it's still going to be professional. It's not going to be crude and offensive for the sake of being crude and offensive or anything like that. It's not going to be me war storying about the stupid shit I've done or glorifying the things in the past, but how I've overcome and learned something from them. And I'm not the person I want to be by any means. I think that God's brought me a long way from where I was 3 to 5 years ago, that's for sure, but I want to improve myself every single day, and if I can look back and see some kind of growth from yesterday, then I think that's success in of itself. But if I'm being honest, there's still a ton of funny stories laced in there, and I want to keep it real and humorous in necessary proportion, but I'm not going to hold anything back. I'm an open book, and I want complete transparency on this entire channel because I think my story can help inspire many of y'all as well, and I know a lot of y'all that have inspiring stories, and I want to have that collaborative effort on here, so we can reach out and potentially motivate someone that's struggling or thinks that there's no hope. Even though I'm not some kind of raging success story or anything like that, I'm on my own path, as we all are, but I think that some of the things that I've experienced could reach a lot of people. And it's not just meant to entertain, but that is a huge goal of mine as well, is to motivate and inspire. And it's if you are offended by anything, by it being raw and gritty and uncensored, I'm just trying to keep it real. If you're offended, I don't apologize in the slightest. My goal isn't to overtly offend anyone or create controversy, but if you got a problem with anything that I have to say, you can either take your soy boy ass off my channel, or you can have your soy boy ass on my channel for a segment. I think that would be quite entertaining, and it is totally up to you. Feminists are quite welcome as well. And I've emphasized this throughout the whole introduction. Y'all are probably sick of hearing it, but the Quakk is a collective effort for sure. So I will look for y'all for ideas on improvement, as well as subject matters moving forward, and I'll even host some polls where y'all can potentially vote on what y'all would want to hear in the future. Speaking of that, my first episode, I was considering either breaking down the imaginary construct on society and examine why we hold those laws so dearly and what actually holds them together, or on gender and sexuality, which I don't think needs much of a formal introduction at all. It pretty much speaks for itself. So I'm going to announce the topic and find a relevant guest before the airing of the next episode, and we can actually start to see the format that I'm envisioning evolve and develop. So as much as I'm sure y'all would love to hear me continue to ramble on, this is not about me. I'm just a part of it. So once again, I thank everyone who pushed me to make this a reality and get the ball rolling. We can only improve from here, but it's going to be fun to see where this takes us and what we can learn in the process. So stay tuned for the first official episode of the Quakk next week. I will announce a formal date and the details of it at some point, but stay tuned and have a fantastic evening. Cheers, and God bless America.